All right, so step one is to just walk into the kitchen. I'm going to take out some ground beef. That is a pound of ground beef. And I start by turning on the oven because I need it to start heating up. So while the oven is heating up, I'm going to just think to myself, okay, what other tasks can I do to be productive right now? I'm not going to throw those eggs on that cast iron yet because it's definitely not hot enough and I haven't put oil on it yet. But I'm just going to set them out there because I'll be using them soon. All right, and while that's heating up, I'm going to try and do something else related to cooking. And I think right now I'm heading over to grab my rice bucket. I have a giant 5-gallon food grade bucket. You can get these from Safeway. If you go to the bakery and just ask for their old frosting buckets, you wash it out. It's food safe. You can put rice in there. You can buy rice in bulk, save some money. So I get a cup of rice. It's not actually a cup. It's this cup came with my rice cooker, and it basically, that amount is going to give me 2 cups of cooked brown rice once I cook it. All right, so I'm going to go take the bucket back. And the reason that I got the rice out right now is because I don't want to be reaching into that bucket with wet hands. I don't want to be reaching into this bucket here. This is my oat bucket. I don't want to be doing that with wet hands either because I don't want to spoil the stuff inside. So this is one of the first things I do when I begin my whole cooking process. I'm going to be cooking about 4 or 5 meals in this video. It's what I eat in a day. Right now you can see I'm getting my shake for the day ready. I'm putting all these oats in my blender while my hands are dry so that I don't get anything wet. I don't want it to start spoiling in the bucket. I want to keep it all dry inside. All right, so I go and put that bucket back. I've got all my ingredients that need to be dry, need to stay away from wet hands. I've got all of those out, so now I'm free to use the sink as much as I want. The pan is still heating up. It's definitely not hot enough. I'm going to cover that with around 2 to 3 cups of whole milk. It's organic milk. I only drink organic because, you know, I'm a healthy boy. All right, put the milk back, and I'm just going to let that sit for like probably 5 to 6 hours. I don't really think too hard about it. I just let it sit. And in the morning I drink 2 cups of orange juice. I found out these little glass cups of mine, 2 cups is right around the point where the cup starts to get narrower at the top. So that's how much I put in. Give me a little bit of carbs in the morning. Pan is still heating up. I'm still doing technically 2 tasks at the same time. I'm heating up my pan, doing other things. That's a big part of my whole methodology here is like, how many tasks can I do at the same time? That's why you see I've got a rice cooker and an Instant Pot and a pan, because I can be cooking 3 things at once. And if you count the soaking oats, you know, really cooking 4 things at once. All right, so now that the pan's heated up, I'm putting that oil on it to let it spread around. It's hot enough that it'll spread quicker because the oil is really viscous and slow when the pan's cold. All right, I'm letting that oil heat up to a nice hot temperature now. And I'm rinsing off my brown rice in my sink. So I rinse it, I just kind of rub it. You can't really see in the video, but I rub it between my hands. I make it super clean. Just try and get off all of the, I think you're getting some of the starch out of the rice or something. I don't actually know why you clean it. Like, obviously you want to eat clean food, so I just clean my rice in this little strainer. I genuinely don't know why I do it though. I just read online you're supposed to. All right, and then I throw it in the rice cooker. And another thing I do while I cook, this saves me so much time, is I do all the dishes as I'm cooking. So the pan's heating up, I've got my rice in the rice cooker, and I already washed the dish that I created, that little strainer. So I really never have to do dishes. I do like 1 or 2 dishes at a time. I never do a sink full of dishes, ever. It's like I don't even do dishes. It's great. So I put enough water in the rice cooker. I'm turning on my power. And here's something that I have to do. I think it's because I bought a rice cooker that's too big and I'm not making big enough batches in it. This little batch, it's gonna bubble a lot and the water's gonna wanna spray around out of that hole in the top. So I put tin foil over the hole to keep it from like spraying all over my kitchen. It kind of just catches those little droplets of hot water. And that's my Instant Pot. And here's a little scale. I highly recommend, if you're tracking your calories, you buy one of these things. They're super cheap. All right, that oil's hot. Putting it on like low medium heat for those eggs. Those are organic eggs too, by the way. I only eat organic eggs if I can. I'm not too anal about it, but I find that they're, or at least in this really good book I read called, what's it called? It's called Beyond Training. It's a really good book about just eating healthy, training healthy. That book says if you're going to eat eggs and you want to get benefits from them, you just need to eat organic. Otherwise, you're pretty much wasting your time. So I eat 4 whole eggs. Those yolks are going to give me some healthy fat. I'm going to get some nice protein from those. And it's just a great way to start off the day. Some nice warm food, some orange juice. All right, so you see my hands are wet now because I've been doing my dishes. I've been washing my hands, frying eggs. That's why I got those dry ingredients out of those buckets at the very beginning of this video. All right, so I'm grabbing some salt and pepper, I think. Yep. Season those bad boys up. And you see that scale and little saucer on the counter? That is so that I can weigh out. The only thing that I weigh in a day, I honestly don't know why I weigh it at this point. Like, I've kind of figured out how much food is how much food. I eat pretty much the same thing most days. You know, I'll change a meal up here and there. I'll change my seasonings. Maybe I'll go out to eat one day. But I eat 100 grams of almonds every day. And honestly couldn't tell you why. I just kind of do it at this point for the healthy fat or whatever. But this little scale, you get one of these guys, you can put a saucer on it, and you can set the scale to 0 there, and it'll tell you how much the almonds weigh. It's probably just like a little kitchen scale, gram scale, something like that. Super cheap on Amazon. If you're just starting out counting your calories, especially if you're on a diet and you're trying to lose weight, that would be super helpful. And if you're trying to gain weight, I also found it very eye-opening to see just how little calories I was eating. You know, I'm obviously not the biggest guy in the world, but I've started putting on some weight, and that's because I know exactly how much calories I'm eating, or how many calories I'm eating, because I measure that out and I look it up. I use an app like MyFitnessPal, something free. By the way, those are 2 steaks. I eat a pound of steak every day, and you'd think that's pretty expensive, but they're sirloin tip cuts. I get them from a local butcher at 30 pounds at a time, so I get a discount by buying 30 pounds at a time, and it's a sirloin tip, so it doesn't have as much fat in it, and if it doesn't have as much fat, the meat's going to be a little tougher, which is why I'm using my Instant Pot. I'm going to slow cook those bad boys for at a minimum 4 hours, and then usually I end up leaving them on heat for 8 hours, so I'm going to eat those before bed, those 2 steaks. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, tracking your calories. Definitely get one of those scales, man. I mean, it's pretty cheap, and you would be surprised how few calories you eat in a day if you're a naturally skinny guy like me. I found that super helpful. It was eye-opening. I was like, wow, today I ate like 2,000 calories. I weighed everything out. I looked up how much calorie per gram it was, you know, used an app like MyFitnessPal to do that. And it's like, it's really eye-opening to just how little we skinny guys eat. And that's the problem, we just don't eat enough. All right, so now I'm cutting an avocado, get some really healthy fats. You know, if I was super cool, I would be eating organic avocados, but you know, I'm also in college, so what can you do? So I slice down them one way, then I slice down them in a crosshatch pattern, and that makes it super easy to scoop them out of the shell with a spoon. Notice that I've got rice cooking, I've got oats soaking, I've got steak in the Instant Pot. It's not cooking yet, but it will be soon. I've got eggs frying. I'm just doing all this stuff at once, and I've got basically no dishes to show for it. I do my dishes as they come. All right, so I'm flipping those eggs over, chopping them up. This isn't scrambled eggs, it's just like Jared brand chopped eggs. I invented this one day, and I just throw some avocado in the bowl with the eggs. And, you know, if I'm feeling fancy, I'll slice up some tomato, I'll season it real good. If I'm feeling real fancy, I'll fry up some potatoes and season them, little cube potatoes. And holy cow, that's amazing. But today I'm just doing a basic egg and avocado bowl, salting it, peppering it. You know, it's not the most delicious thing you'll ever eat in your life, but it's pretty good and it's pretty darn healthy. Notice I'm just throwing my garbage away as it comes. You know, if you really want to save time, like we're not even 10 minutes into the video and I've already got a bunch of food cooking. Like I keep saying, I've got no dishes. I've got a meal almost done. Another meal in the fridge, that protein shake. Right now it's just an oat and milk shake, but it will become a protein shake in the near future. All right, finish those eggs. Casually just, you know, make sure I get them all over my stove because I'm clean like that. All right, put that in the bowl. Let's go. Bruh, voiceovering a video like this is so fun. It's like, I feel like I have to keep talking. It's a little bit of pressure, but you know, I guess you guys can just enjoy some silence for a bit too. So watch the things that I'm doing, and I'll tell you when something interesting is happening. Obviously here I'm trying to keep my pan a little bit clean. I'm keeping the heat on because I'm going to be cooking one other thing on that pan. I think of myself as a pretty thrifty guy. I don't spend money on wasteful things, but I do splurge on the paper towels, man. I use a lot of paper towels every day just because I find it really fast and convenient to just clean out my little pan with paper towels instead of washing it. I just like scrape the bottom of it. Yeah, it's ready to cook the next thing, right? Pretty clean. Throw some more olive oil in that bad boy. Now, I don't know much about cooking oils. I know there's a bunch of people out there that'll say you got to use this oil, that oil, learn about smoke points and all that. You know, I haven't gotten into that yet. You know, eventually, as I continue my health journey, I will do that. I haven't yet. All right, so I just turned the oven up hotter while it's heating up to temperature for ground beef. Remember that ground beef is on the stove. You can't see it, but it's there. I am washing my potato. That sounds like innuendo, but I'm really just washing a potato to throw in the stew that I'm making with those two steak pieces. And always make sure you cut towards your thumb, guys, because if you don't, you know, it's really dangerous. You know, cutting towards your thumb is, it's safe, very safe. All right, so there's 2 steaks in there. They're each a ½ pound. I get them like that. And there's a whole cut potato. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna season that potato with Johnny's seasoning or some salt or whatever. And eventually I'll season that steak with like this really, really good seasoning called McCormick Chipotle and roasted garlic. I'm not like sponsored by them or anything. Obviously I've got like 2 subscribers, but that's just my favorite seasoning for a steak. All right. My pan is still heating up to like medium, a little bit over medium heat. All right, so yeah, there goes the Johnny's on those potatoes. Want them to be nice and salty and peppery and Johnny-like. This seasoning, man, it is so good. McCormick, Chipotle, and roasted garlic. Put that on the steaks. Now, this would be a lot better if I didn't have all my steaks frozen, but I'm just honestly too lazy to unfreeze them and let the seasoning sink in. So I just kind of put it on top of the frozen steak and cross my fingers, hope for the best. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, it's a little mid. If I was willing to put in an extra 5 minutes of work a day, I would have much more delicious steak stew, but you know what? I'm feeling kind of lazy, so we're just gonna eat the healthy food and deal with a little bit of blandness this time. All right, I'm opening up this package of ground beef. I get this from a local farmer, 20 pounds at a time. I can't remember how much I pay per pound. I think it's something like $5 a pound. Those steaks are $5.75 a pound. Those sirloin tip cuts, pretty lean, you know. I wish they had more fat on them, but that would be pricey. And I really like the idea of eating a pound of steak every day. I think that's pretty healthy, especially because it's not like a processed meat. If I was eating a pound of like hamburger meat every day or a pound of hot dogs every day, you know, that's probably pretty awful, especially, or if I was eating like Walmart steak every day, but I'm getting it from an actual local butcher. Okay. So I spend like $200 a month on steak. I don't know how much I spend a month on ground beef. It's definitely not $200. All right, so I'm chopping up this ground beef. We're spreading it out so I can season that. This is twice as much ground beef as I need in a day. I actually only cook ground beef every other day because I cook it in batches of 1 pound. I only eat a ½ pound of that a day. So really I eat 1.5 pounds of cow every day, 1 pound of steak, and a ½ pound of ground beef. This ground beef is gonna go in like a taco bowl. You see the rice cooking under that tin foil? This ground beef is gonna get mixed in with that eventually. All right, I am seasoning that bad boy with some really cheap taco seasoning, like taco meat seasoning. It's actually pretty good. Get it at Walmart. Honestly, everything but my meat, I just get at Walmart. Like you can get organic eggs at Walmart, you can get organic milk at Walmart, you can get all the vegetables I eat at Walmart, and all the fruits, everything I get at Walmart except for my meat. only problem with Walmart, like it's got some great food in it, but I consider probably 80% of the stuff on their shelves to be inedible on a day-to-day basis. Like, sure, I'll go eat a bag of Takis sometime. That's definitely not something I would advise doing every day, though. That's like something that might happen once a month for me. And at this point, I've been eating healthy, clean food for so long that that's what my body craves usually. Well, no, I'll crave things like burgers. I crave a lot of savory stuff, but man, I never ever have a craving for sweet things like a milkshake or ice cream or candy. That just doesn't register with my system anymore. So, I mean, maybe that's a little bit of inspiration if that's something somebody out there is having a problem with. Like, if you just eat healthy food for a couple months, man, you are not going to want to eat the unhealthy stuff because it just doesn't feel good and it doesn't taste good to me anymore. All right, so I've got the meat cooking, the rice cooking. I've still got a half-made beef stew over there. I'm taking some collard greens out of my fridge. I believe these are the most nutritionally dense green you can eat. And I don't know too much about nutrition, I'm not gonna lie, but I believe that eating green leafy vegetables is healthy. So I do that. Okay, I start tearing those up into little fork-sized pieces so I can eat them later. Kind of keep them wrapped up, because collard greens like to spread out and be long and flappy, and I just don't want to deal with that. I just want to roll it up so I can stab it with my fork and eat it in one bite after that stew is cooked. All right, so in that stew, just a reminder, I've got some seasoned potatoes, some seasoned steak, and some collard greens. It's not even really a stew, it's just me cooking some healthy food together in an Instant Pot. It's going to be slow cooking for like 4 hours minimum. Okay, throw some onions in there for good measure. And note, I still have generated basically 0 dishes. And while I'm doing all this cooking over here, my meat is cooking on the stove. I'm just being super efficient, guys, not to brag, but I'm being very efficient. I'm gonna throw some water in that stew. Probably an inch of water in the bottom of the pot, and I just eyeball it, set a timer for 4 hours. That bad boy is now cooking away. I'm cooking my rice, my stew, I'm cooking my meat. I've already cooked my meal for the day. I've got my almonds, my orange juice, and my egg and avocado bowl. That's already there. Like, I've got my meal for the morning set out already. I'm cooking stuff for the rest of the day. So I'm chopping up an onion for my later taco bowl. And I'm gonna do the gymnastics of getting the onion off the cutting board into the little glass bowl there. Look at me go. Basically a chef, guys. Look at that technique. What a man. Okay. I think I have a tomato. Yeah, so I cut the whole tomato. Sometimes I throw a tomato in with my egg and avocado bowl that I already have sitting on the counter. But I'm just gonna put a whole tomato into my taco bowl today. So I chop this bad boy up while my meat is still cooking. Like, look how much stuff I'm cooking at once. It's crazy, isn't it? Just what a few machines can do for you. I'm gonna estimate that this will take me less than half an hour to cook all my food for the entire day. And probably 45 minutes if you think all my food, all my dishes, any other bonus kitchen work I have to do. Like, literally 45 minutes a day is all it takes to eat everything you need for pretty cheap and very healthy, all right? Bear in mind, I'm on a bulk right now, or a clean bulk. I'm not trying to get fat and then cut down. I'm basically just trying to slowly build muscle over the course of 2 to 3 years, right? So I'm trying to get up to maybe 200 pounds long term. Right now, I'd like to hit 190. I'm currently sitting at a healthy 180. But I want to be a lean, mean 200-pound machine in a couple of years. Maybe 210. That's probably pushing it, though. All right, I'm going to pull this rice cooker out because I don't like the steam just getting underneath my cupboards that close to it. I think that's going to mess up the paint or something. I'm doing some dishes already. See, I do my dishes as I generate them, like I said. There's basically nothing left in the sink. I'm just washing my cutting board off. I'm using some Blue Dawn soap for that, in case any of you guys are Blue Dawn soap fans. Shout outs to all my Blue Dawn boys. Put it up there to dry. And the meat is probably done now, Jared. Let's get that out of the pan, my guy. Come on. Come on. I think I'm looking for a Tupperware. Yeah, okay. That's what I'm going to put my meat in. Okay. I'm just looking at that obviously done meat to make sure it's, done, obviously. Chop it up a bit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're ready. That banana is going to go in my smoothie, my protein shake. Now, the reason I'm putting it in there right now, usually I don't soak the banana with the oats all day. I have that protein shake. That's like my second last meal of the day. I have that before my stew. So I have it pretty late in the day, usually after I've worked out and everything. I'm back home, I have it, and then a few hours later I have my stew, and then I go to bed, right? But right now I'm showing you what ingredients go into that shake. And if I do it in the morning like this, I save a little time later, so really who cares? I'm going to wash off some kale and put it in that smoothie. This smoothie is definitely not the most tasty smoothie you'll have in your life. I would recommend throwing some berries in there. Not only will it turn it a great purple color instead of green, but it'll taste fantastic. So we got about 2 cups of oats, a whole banana. I wish it was an organic banana. Oh, I'm grabbing a cucumber for my breakfast. Cool. I eat those every now and then because they're green. So my breakfast reminder, it's the avocado and egg bowl, the cucumber, the almonds, and the orange juice. And it's already done. It's over there on my other counter. Or my desk. Okay. Turn off the oven and get the meat out of the pan. Scraping the bottom to try and reduce cleanage later. I'm all about reducing cleanage. Nice. And if anybody knows how to make my cast iron pan not stick to ground beef so bad, like, drop a comment or something, man. It's so annoying. I swear, I heat it up, I throw the oil on it. Theoretically, it shouldn't stick, but it does sometimes. This doesn't stick bad. It's just a little bit, but I wish it was a little less sticky. All right, throw in my little metal spatula in the sink for dishes. Scrubbing out my pan with one of my paper towels, 2 of my paper towels. Man, I'm on a paper towel spree today. Okay. You can tell I grew up not using a lot of paper towels. Got that nice clean pan. And for no particular reason, I will put some oil on it. It just feels like the right thing to do. I'm not sure if it is, but why not? I'm going to put that meat in the fridge. That avocado is going to go in the taco bowl later. I eat 2 avocados a day, 2 whole avocados. All right, now, because I've got some free time while I wait to eat my breakfast, I'm going to just show you all my protein powder. I'm going to put 2 scoops of whey protein isolate, pure whey protein isolate. It's not an actual protein powder, it's disgusting. Whey protein isolate, 1 ingredient. 2 scoops of that, roughly 50 grams of protein, into my shake. That's one of the reasons my shakes are not the best, man. They're kind of gross. So that shake's got at least 50 grams of protein in it if you're not counting the oats and the milk and the banana and the kale. It's pretty carb heavy too. It's about 1,000 calorie shake. If you're bulking, dude, liquid calories are a cheat code. Like, so easy to just drink 1,000 calories compared to eat 1,000 calories. This stuff is creatine. Just Google it. I'm not going to talk about it here. But I found a pretty good way to drink it. You just throw it in a Taco Bell cup and like mix it up with a straw, slurp it up. It's a really easy way to mix it with the water. Boom, 5 grams of creatine for the day, down the hatch. I still consider myself natural, guys, even though I take creatine. Obviously natty. Obviously very natty. Okay, now I'm putting my shake in the fridge. And I've got my stew cooking, my rice cooking for that taco bowl later. And I'm good to go. Time for breakfast. When the rice cooker's done, which usually takes 45 minutes to an hour, I go take the tin foil off, throw it in my sink because it gets bubbly rice water on it, and I gotta wash that bad boy. Gotta wash the lid too. Luckily, my sink is free of dishes already. And I use this big bowl that I bought at Walmart. Like, it's bigger than your average bowl, man. It's quite large. I'm gonna use my little rice spoon to get the rice out of the pot and into the bowl. And there's a reason I'm showing this video this way. I just want to show you without editing, without tricks or fancy lighting. Like, I just want to show you a day in my morning routine, right? This is achievable by anybody. Like, what I'm doing is not particularly unique or special. I'm just cooking all my meals in the morning, And the reason I'm putting this online is to remove the excuse of, oh, it takes too long to eat healthy. Like, no, it absolutely does not. It doesn't even take that long to eat extremely healthy. I go to the store once a week. I go to the butcher once a month. I go to a farmer to buy ground beef once every 2 months. I spend like roughly, I don't know, like $400 a month or so on food. It's not bad. All right, I'm taking half of that ground beef, so that's half a pound, and it's pre-seasoned. I seasoned it while I cooked it, throwing it in there with my rice into that big old bowl. Definitely can't fit this in your standard bowl. Put that back in the fridge. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I get some salsa, just your old regular, somewhat healthy salsa. Throw that in there. It makes the rice palatable. Now I can just not focus on it. I just throw the salsa in there. It's something wet to get between the rice grains and the beef. Cut my avocado, throw some fat into this meal. So this would be happening later in the day. Like, I could come back from class, from work, from my workout, my rice would be done, and I would have to do this very quick 5-minute process just to get that rice bowl assembled. It's a little annoying that I can't just come home and eat it. I have to come home, some assembly required. Here I'm putting salt and cumin powder into it to make it a little better. Yeah, it's a little annoying that I have to come home and make it. I'm all about not cooking. I really don't like cooking that much. So even this 5 minutes bugs me, but it's super quick. It's literally 5 minutes, including doing the dishes. So, no excuses. No excuses. I'm going to cut my avocado crosswise, making that square pattern so I can scoop it out. And remember, I've already got my tomato and my onion cut for this bowl. I don't put cheese in the bowl. For a while I was going no dairy products at all, or at least no milk products at all. Right now I'm using whole milk in my smoothies, but I used to use coconut milk in those, so the habit of just not using cheese is still with me. Alright, got the avocado out. Just drop it on the ground like I do. Grab a paper towel, we'll clean that bad boy up. Okay, now I'm going to mix that salsa in with the rice a little bit. It's actually pretty good. I like this bowl. Okay, now I'm throwing my onion and my tomato in the bowl. And all done. Okay. So the dishes I've got in the sink now are basically all the pieces of my rice cooker. I've got like the rice cooker bowl, the rice cooker lid. I've got a knife. I'm gonna have to wash out my onion and tomato bowl and the tin foil that I always put on top of my rice cooker. That's not a lot of dishes and it will be very fast. Here is the finished taco bowl, guys. It's pretty delicious. All right, and now I'm doing the dishes for my for that taco bowl. I think I'm washing off my tin foil right now. Honestly, I know you all can't see what I'm doing. It's probably not that interesting to watch this, but the reason I'm doing this, like I said, is so that you can see live, no sped ups, no speed ups, no cuts, no special editing. You can just see what a regular guy who wants to eat healthy has to achieve. You know, it's really, really simple. Does not take that much time. Does not take that much effort. You just do your dishes as you create them. I'm pretty much halfway done already. And, you know, the rewards for your health and well-being, pride in what you eat, those are absolutely worth taking 30 minutes a day to cook, 10 minutes a day to do dishes. You know, less than an hour a day, and I am able to eat very, very healthy. And you can too. Anybody can do it. It's not a special, unique case here. So if anything, you know, what I want this video to do is just maybe, hopefully, inspire somebody to try it out and get rid of that limiting belief of, oh, but it takes too much time. Only people with lots of free time can eat healthy. Like, no, bro. I'm not the most busy guy in the world, but I'm pretty busy, and this does not negatively affect my ability to do anything, right? It's just less than an hour a day. You know, if you're going to McDonald's 3 times a day, you're probably going to spend more time. Okay, maybe not more time. It's probably a little faster, but you got to drive there, you got to drive back. If you're eating there, you're definitely going to be there more than 10 minutes. If you're eating in your car, you still got to clean your car out. You're probably approaching half an hour of effort already, at the bare minimum, depending on how far away McDonald's is from where you live. So, and also note how small my kitchen is, man. Like, I'm always bumping into stuff, but you could make this work in a dorm. All these, like, you could just buy a little stove hot plate, or you could buy like a little stove burner. You could buy a rice cooker, an Instant Pot, a blender. All of this is super easy to do if you just buy the right tools. It's not that cheap. It's not that expensive. Okay, now I'm back in the kitchen. This would be, for example, I get home after work. Say it's like 9 p.m., maybe even midnight some nights. I just grab a bowl. Usually I would use my big glass bowl that I use for my taco bowl. I've got to use a separate bowl for this because it's being used for the video. But I take those 2 steaks out. It's been about 8 hours at this point, 4 to 8 hours of slow cooking. Take the potatoes, put them in the bowl. And let's grab another bowl for those delicious collard greens. Healthy. Let's even those bad boys out. And dump some of the unused, or no, some of the liquid into each bowl. You gotta use it all. Get all the fat that leached out of the meat or whatever. It's just a broth, you know, gotta drink that. So there these bowls are. Show you what they look like after I do my dishes. All right, yeah, I just got to wash out the inside of that Instant Pot. It's a removable bowl. Very non-stick, so easy to wash, dude, so easy to wash. And that Instant Pot costs like 50 bucks. And if you use it every day and it saves you like 20 to 30 minutes of work every day, it'll pay itself off pretty darn quick, even if you only make minimum wage in terms of time saved. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I lost the footage of me blending my smoothie, but that takes about 2 to 3 minutes to blend and wash all the dishes. And, you know, as long as it takes to drink a smoothie to consume it. So there you go. It's pretty quick and easy to be healthy. Hopefully this can inspire some of you folks out there to try and come up with this system like I've got to save some time. Adios.